All right, guys, we're gonna do one of my favorite things to do, which is react to the craziest TikTok videos I've seen and give you my thoughts as a Mayo Clinic trained GI doctor on whether these things are true, what can we learn from them, what can we not learn from them, and to give you the best advice to help out with your gut health. So let's talk about our medutainment portion of my channel, my reaction to great TikTok videos about gut health.
Happy first day of the Winter Arc Challenge. Here are 2 things that I have every single morning on an empty stomach, 30 minutes before I have breakfast. Before I have my celery juice, I will always have a full glass of water.
All right, let's talk about celery juice because I know this is an obsession with people on social media. So celery juice is one of those things which I'm not quite sure exactly why people are talking about it, but let's talk about the benefits. So yes, there are some benefits with having celery juice. I mean, I guess you're adding more fiber and you're having the water with that. There's nothing special about juicing your celery. Just make sure you obviously have the celery in there. But also keep in mind, don't add anything else when you're having celery juice. So if you want to try celery juice to help out with your gut, that's fine. Celery is mainly made up of fiber, which are great for your gut anyway. So if you enjoy celery, I personally don't. Absolutely go ahead and use that. Try to help out when it comes to your gut health. So not that you have to have celery juice for inflammation, but you know, if you like it, not a big deal.
Full glass of water first thing in the morning right after I brush my teeth. This is done. I will actually then go in with...
So I actually like this idea of having water first thing in the morning. In fact, what I recommend is as soon as you get up, have 1 to 2 glasses of water as soon as you get up, because what happens is that throughout the night, as you're sleeping with your mouth open, you have all this dehydration occurring. By having that water and having that first thing in the morning, you're setting yourself up to not be dehydrated and catching up from the dehydration that occurs throughout the night. So I'm absolutely a fan of this. So I do recommend this.
And with 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a capful, add that to my little mug. And then I'm gonna go in with some hot water. Drink this after I have my water. Apple cider vinegar contains antioxidant properties and anti-inflammatory properties that help reduce it.
So let's talk about that. So having hot water is actually one of the recommendations that I recommend, or having something hot in the morning to stimulate your bowels. So if you're having issues with constipation, or you don't feel like you're getting good bowel movements, or you're just having issues with bowel troubles in general, one of the tricks that we do recommend is to have something hot in the morning to help trigger what's called the gastrocolic reflex, which is actually a physical and physiological reflex that occurs whenever you have something hot or you have something that's warm in the morning. It helps to stimulate the stomach, the small intestine, to propagate things through. So whether it's hot water, hot tea, hot coffee, or hot whatever, doing that. Now, adding apple cider vinegar. I'll tell you the evidence. There is absolutely no evidence whatsoever that adding apple cider vinegar has anti-inflammatory components and antioxidant components in them. There's no evidence. And I also have to stress with individuals that adding vinegar to your diet can make things worse for a lot of my patients. So it can make reflux symptoms worse. It can make gastritis symptoms worse. You're actually literally adding vinegar. Now, for some individuals, they may have a benefit with that, and that's okay. But I would caution you, if you take things like anti-inflammatory medications, Aleve, naproxen, Advil, Motrin, you take aspirin, you take steroids, you smoke or have alcohol, these things automatically already cause irritation inside that stomach. And if you add in something on top of that that's acidic like vinegar, you may be making things worse for your stomach as well. So kind of keep that in mind if you want to try something like this. But once again, there is no medical evidence that apple cider vinegar is what you need to help out when it comes to bloating and gut issues.
That help reduce inflammation in your body. It is also super great for regulating your insulin levels. So if you are...
There is some evidence for this. Now I'll tell you, she may be right. There is some evidence that having apple cider vinegar can help modulate your insulin levels and make it easier for you to not have the insulin spike after you eat. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's not 100% there, but there is some evidence for that.
You are somebody that constantly gets sugar cravings and you want to try to avoid that, add this to your morning routine. The inflammation in your body is going to go down. Your stomach is going to be looking on flat, all because you incorporated these 2 things into your morning routine. We are just working on healing our gut, feeling better, having better skin, and just feeling physically and mentally much healthier.
What do you think? Using those terms flat, that's a good idea, actually. I like that. All right, let's go to the second one here, how to heal the gut. L-glutamine. All right, I like this one. So L-glutamine is a supplement that I sometimes recommend for some of my patients who have irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. So there's some evidence that L-glutamine can actually help out with the lining of your gut. So a lot of my patients are worried about leaky gut, gut dysbiosis, or things going on in there and kind of in the lining of that GI tract. And we're seeing some evidence that actually is true, that there actually is some leaky gut that's occurring. These tight junctions which form the lining of our gut are actually getting loose, and because of that, you have toxins that go inside and outside the bloodstream that can cause irritation to occur. And there is some evidence that L-glutamine can actually help out when it comes to some of those issues. And actually tends to help out with some individuals who have diarrhea as their main component of IBS. So I actually do recommend this in some individuals who are having diarrhea as a problem, especially if they're worried about leaky gut and issues like that. Increase water, nothing wrong with that. You'd be surprised though that the actual evidence behind increasing water is not as robust as people make it out to be on social media. But however, there literally is nothing wrong by telling someone to increase their water intake. Green smoothies, I'm a fan of this, because any way that you can increase the fiber component of your diet is what you need to do. So she recommends more veggies like spinach, kale, cucumbers. 100%, I am absolutely in favor of this because by doing that, you're increasing your fiber, you're increasing the antioxidants, you're increasing the minerals inside your gut. So any way that you can to incorporate more fiber, that's what I'm aiming for. And the good thing about this is that she's not using a type of smoothie that's already pre-made. She's making it herself and incorporating that food in there. She's not just juicing it, which is the process of just getting that juice out and using that and excluding everything else. She's actually incorporating that food in her smoothie, which I totally recommend. Brilliant! Fruit! Yes! Fruit is a fantastic source of fiber, of water, of antioxidants, and it has less sugar. In fact, it has nature's sugar, which is the type of sugar that you want. I do this all the time. I love fruit and I incorporate fruit. And don't be scared of fruit because don't be worried about this insulin spike you're going to get from fruit. It's not going to happen. It has fiber, has antioxidants, and I eat fruit all the time. In fact, fruit is my mainstay of making sure I can kind of get rid of that craving of sweets. So I'm absolutely 100% in favor of this. That's a great video. Man, that's pretty spot on tips right there. All right, next one, food swaps for gut health. Let's see if I agree with this or if this makes sense.
Let's go to Target and find anti-inflammatory swaps to all of our favorite foods. Ditch the almond and oat milk that have a bunch of different seed oils and inflammatory ingredients and swap to one with only almonds, water, and sea salt.
That's actually a smart idea, and I think it's really important. So when you say this health industry is a multi-billion, I feel like, I'm Austin Powers or Dr. Evil, billion industry. And they are trying to get you to buy whatever product that they want. And when you actually look at the ingredients for these healthy foods, there are things that are not healthy in them. And so what I want you to aim for, if you're aiming for something like almond milk, pick the one that has the least amount of ingredients. This is a fantastic tip because not only are you getting rid of some of the healthy drinks that the media and the industry is trying to make you do, but you're actually focusing on the drinks that are limited, that have less ingredients, that are better for you overall.
Healthier alternatives to cookies are Simple Mills and Siete. These are so good and they have the cleanest ingredients. These tortillas.
And that's fine. I will give you a better option than having cookies or sweeteners is just have fruit. Like I said before, fruit is nature's sweeteners. It's the best thing you can do. It doesn't give you the insulin spikes. You also get the benefit of fiber, the antioxidants. It's natural. It's just great for you. There's really no disadvantage of having fruit instead.
Tortillas might look healthy, but they actually have a bunch of seed oils and ingredients that you can't even pronounce. I'm swapping to Siete because these taste good and they're gluten and dairy free.
And that's fine as well. Once again, it kind of goes along the idea of trying to find the food that has the less amount of processing, the less amount of ingredients, and the less amount of just stuff in the labeling to make it easier for you.
Condiments and dressings are filled with a bunch of BS ingredients.
Haha, so true. So true. And then one of the biggest BS ingredients that's out there is fructose. So many of these things have fructose, which are not good for your liver, not good for your gut as well.
This mayo has soybean oil as the first ingredient, along with sugar, natural flavors. Swap to chosen foods. This is a much better option. Who wants popcorn when it's cooked with inflammatory sunflower oil? I'll be swapping to my favorite, lesser evil. Quality is so important when you're choosing dairy products. That's why I'll be choosing Good Culture, because it's better for my gut.
These are great tips, and I think that the overall message I think this video is trying to tell you is that just because it's healthy or labeled as healthy, you really need to do a deep dive in the ingredients and see exactly what is being made. How is it being made? How is it being processed? What's in them? What's not in them? Because that's where the confusion comes in. Once again, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry that's trying to get you to buy this particular food or this particular drink. And one of the things that they commonly do is they tell you it's healthy. Look at the ingredients, see what's in them, see if it agrees with you. Try to find something that has the less amount of ingredients, the less amount of processing, and the more natural products that are in there. It's a great message in this video. It's one that I always try to tell my patients as well. All right, 2 supplements for gut health. Let's see if I agree with these supplements or not. You know me, so if you've been watching my channel, a couple of mantras I try to tell people. So number 1, you cannot supplement your way to health. So if you have a crappy diet, you're trying to take supplements, guess what? That's not gonna work. And number 2, not all supplements are good for you. They're not all healthy and they're not regular. So kind of keep that in mind. These are my mantras when it comes to supplements. Number 1 is sea moss. So let's talk about sea moss here. So sea moss has been suggested to give a lot of benefits to the gut, primarily because of its rich nutrition profile, but also some of the bioactive ingredients and compounds within sea moss. Some of the benefits proposed include being an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. They're sometimes rich in iodine and other minerals that can contribute to overall health. However, the suggested data is not really that great when it comes to sea moss. Most of the studies are in animals, they're in labs. You know, I'm not an animal. Well, I guess my wife may think that I am, but you know, I'm not in a lab, and it's really hard to replicate those studies in actual people and actual individuals as well. However, if you want to try it, not a big deal. Cultured coconut. Now, I am a huge fan of this, and I recommend this to literally all of my patients. So cultured coconut, it has billions of bacteria in them, which is what you need to change your gut microbiome. Your gut microbiome has trillions of bacteria, fungi, and viruses that are constantly interacting with the environment and with you to kind of modulate what's going on inside your gut. And having something as small as a probiotic, well, A, it's probably not the best thing for you. Number 2, only has a couple of million in there that may not give you the best effect. Number 3, it's just made. It's just man-made. But having cultured coconut, it has trillions of bacteria. It can change the makeup of your gut microbiome. It can make it easier for you to manage your gut, and it's natural as well. So I'm a huge fan of cultured coconut. If you've not incorporated this into your diet, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you do this. I just like a tip here, I guess, for if you're doing videos, it may be worthwhile to put what you're telling people to do like somewhere in the video, because I couldn't tell. I had to like squint. I'm an old man. All right, I love doing these videos. If you have videos you want me to react to or things you want me to talk about, you've seen on social media, send them to me so we can find out what's going on and hopefully give you medical entertainment, medutainment, to hopefully help out when it makes your gut issues better and give you my thoughts on some of these things as well. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button, like, share, and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you guys on future videos.